Hey guys, I want to take a second and thank Comfort Pro. Since 2001, Comfort Pro has been helping customers stay comfortable where they live, work, and play. They have 24/7 emergency service and a 100% customer satisfaction guarantee. If you need help with your heating and air conditioning or indoor air quality, call Comfort Pro at 484-917-1803. Mention the show and receive a free humidifier with the installation of a complete system. This is going to be a good one, Hugo.
The Brad Weisman Show. Real people, real life, and everything in between.
So what do your kids think of this?
Oh, they are so embarrassed.
In order to be unstoppable, you simply don't give up. You get knocked down, you get back up again.
Where curiosity opens the door to genuine connection.
Men really struggle with their emotions. They really struggle with even understanding what's going on.
Unfiltered conversations with the people shaping our world.
What kind of show is this?
And there's red quilted leather all over the walls. There's a swing hanging from the ceiling.
I don't sweat you.
And now, your host, Brad Weisman.
All right. You know what? I like that new intro. I really do. It's just fun. You know, it's
right.
really fun. And it cut off abruptly for some reason. But that's all right. That's all right. No, but I like that intro, man. You did a nice job on that.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. So, Hugo, we're back. We're back. We're back here every Thursday at 7 p.m. And I just wanted to say we have a great guest coming up, just like we always do. This guy, we were supposed to have him on not too long ago. And I don't know if I got sick or he got sick or you got sick or somebody got sick is what I'm thinking. But he's an executive producer, founder at Box 7 Media. He's also the host of a podcast called Rhythm of the Road Podcast. His name's Jeremy Schreifels, executive producer and founder of Box 7 Media, helps leaders and creators amplify their voices and transform their stories into content like podcasts, audiobooks, and YouTube content to build brands and move audiences. He aims to help others turn their ideas into stories that connect, inspire, and create lasting impact. Now, that's a lot.
That's right.
All right, let's bring him on.
What do you mean? All right.
Hey, Jeremy, what's up?
Hey, Brad, how are you? I'm so good.
Oh, good. That's good. Now, if you're listening to just the podcast here, you can't see this, but he's got a drum set on his back. He's got cymbals that are cutting into his neck is what it looks like. But no, obviously you're a musician. That was one of the things that caught my eye when your manager gave me your sheet of all the information. And it of course, a musician to a musician, I was like, I got to read into this guy and see what's going on. So welcome to the show.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I always love connecting with other musicians, and I think it's incredible in this business world how many of us there are that you might not even know. I did not know you were a musician until we showed up and started talking right before this. I'm like, what is...
Yeah, you can't get away from us, right?
No, we're everywhere.
We're everywhere. Yeah, it's cool. And, it's something that gets in your blood. We were talking about this a little before we started recording is that, it gets in your blood. And, the podcast thing, you're doing podcasting, you're actually producing podcasts, you're doing YouTube stuff, you're doing audiobooks, all these things. It's all entertainment as far as I'm concerned. So it's not like you're doing everything that you normally do, which is entertaining.
Yeah. Yeah, and really, I mean, that's like the perfect way to say it, Brad, is like I just switched my stages rather than sitting at the back of the stage in front of the lights. And, I don't have the 3 a.m. mornings anymore. I'm totally okay with that.
Me too.
I'm a bit later in life. And so, the less I can do those versions I do. But now I can do it from anywhere. I mean, I can do it from my laptop. I can do it from my studio here. It's a blast.
It's awesome. It is cool how we can do this, pretty much anywhere, in fact, I don't even know where you are right now. I never even asked the question. Like, where are you from? Like, where are you out of?
I'm in central Minnesota, St. Joseph, just about an hour northwest of Minneapolis, St. Paul area.
But I didn't hear Minnesota. Are you from there originally?
Yeah, born and raised.
Wow, you don't have quite the accent I was expecting when I heard that.
Thank you so much. I just like if I could reach through this camera,
give you a big hug. Yes, I appreciate
I take that amazingly.
No, it's funny, and it might be just because of you're always talking to people all over the place. That could be part of it, that you just it kind of neutralizes our accents. Now, I know I have an accent because I get told that all the time. I have the Pennsylvania thing going on, or Philadelphia. But let's dive into your company, Box 7 Media. Tell me what you do, and, what are you doing with Box 7 Media?
The basic of what we're doing is a bit what we're doing right here today, is producing podcasts for clients all over the world, actually, in a few countries, which is super fun, which is, again, why I have, my accent doesn't live in most spaces. I consider myself a chameleon. So after 15 minutes, I'm probably going to be talking like you, Brad. So we'll see if it really works. And then I really take my approach as a musician and being a producer and a songwriter and a mix engineer, and brought that into this business production space,
right?
And really wrapped it around podcasts specifically, because I love the storytelling aspect and the branding, and then also audiobooks, which really is probably one of my favorite spaces, because the stories that I get to hear and the journeys I get to help authors go on it's really incredible.
Getting to the audiobook part, and I'm working on writing a book right now. So I'm
Congratulations.
Almost 8 chapters in. We're actually getting closer to the end of it. And we talked about the audiobook part. And what's interesting about that is I listen to audiobooks a lot, just because I think what it really has done is there was a gap of people that maybe were not, I can read, okay? But I can't read extremely well. And there's people that read really well. And then they always say, well, then read more and you'll get better at it. It's like anything else. But, I just never did that as much. The audiobook world has changed my life. It really has. It's changed my life in that I'm now able to get the information and the stories and all the things that everybody else got by being able to read at a very efficient level. And that I couldn't. And it's not like I use it as a crutch or I ever say, I would have gotten so much further if I could read better. No, it's not it at all. I mean, it's just that what you don't know, you don't know. So I never really cared that much about reading as much because it was not easy for me. But with audiobooks, it really has changed my life. It has allowed me to listen to books that and really enjoy books that I have never done. So, that's something, obviously, that is just blowing up even more than it ever has, right?
Yeah, I think ACX has between 8,000 and 10,000 books going up daily.
Wow. For
audiobooks, which is insane to me, because only 2 or 3% of folks who ever publish a book will do the audio. It's amazing to me.
But do you think that's going to increase as time goes on because of the amount of people that are listening to books as opposed to reading?
Yeah. If you're watching and you can see me in my space right now, there's a bookshelf over here behind me. I've actually read all of those books. That is an anomaly, right? Because most people, they'll go buy books. And a lot of these are my friends who are authors who have written books. And I support them by buying the books, right?
Sure.
But I actually read them. And I'm like you, Brad, reading has never been a great thing for me.
Yeah.
In fact, I committed to 2026 that I'm going to do a minimum of 2 audiobooks a month.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
Because I used to read a book a month, and I can do twice as much. And actually, if you listen to audiobooks on 1.2 or 1.3 times speed, you retain the information better.
Are you kidding me? I've never tried that.
Yeah. You will retain the information better. And what it does, Brad, is it tricks your brain to have to pay attention more, because otherwise it can start to be a little bit droney, which means it kind of flows into your background. But you just do it at I try 1.2 is usually where I live, just because
now I got to try this.
Going on.
I got to try this now.
Yeah, it will blow your mind. And think about it, you're just getting through a book faster.
Yeah, yeah. But I always thought it was going to sound like, at the end of the commercials, when they go, they do that real fast. That's what I pictured it was going to be like if I did the book that way. I'm like, wait a minute, am I going to actually really understand? But I've never tried it. I'm going to have to try that now.
Yeah, I think Audible's pretty good. ACX has got that.
Well, Audible's who I use. That's who I use.
And so they have that modulator built in.
Yeah.
So I think I've gotten it up to 1.3, 1.4 before it starts to.
We're talking like you're going on a treadmill. This is like, well, I got my treadmill up to this, and that's what it sounds like we're talking about. So how fast can you listen to a book? Oh my gosh,
and retain. And right? We want to retain.
And that's the thing, is retaining. You know what I love too is when the author reads it themselves.
Yeah, I encourage and all but really kind of push my authors to do that because, and here's why: nobody tells your story like you do.
Absolutely.
Right. And you get so much more emotion, you get more performance, right, which we know a lot about. And because of that, the reader gets more.
Yeah.
Right. And I think the benefit and one of the value add things that I'm sharing with clients about audiobooks is like you can put stuff in there that wasn't in the print book.
Yes.
Right. Are you working with an editor or a publisher with your book? Or,
yes. Yeah.
Okay. So how much stuff of there already cut out of it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But we put stuff in, but the editor has not gotten a hold of it yet. So I'm still working with the ghostwriter. So, I know it's coming, and that's the part where I'm going to start crying in the corner. But no, I know that's coming.
Put it all back in the audiobook.
Exactly. You know who does that? I mean, obviously nobody cuts John Maxwell's books up because it's John Maxwell, but he does a lot of stuff audio-wise. After the chapter, he'll actually just kind of just chill out and he'll talk about that chapter, which you never get if you read the book, which I think is kind of cool.
The beauty of what you have, Brad, is what you could do is you could do a podcast interview.
Oh, yeah.
That goes with each one of your chapters and throw it on the end of it. You have all the equipment. You have all the setup.
It's a great idea.
Sit down and
great idea.
Have Hugo interview you and ask questions.
That's a great idea. Hugo, you have a new job.
That's right.
You're welcome.
He's like, yeah, just what I need. Another thing to do, right? So let's jump. So the podcast thing is obviously just blowing up. I mean, the storytelling and everything and it's not even just storytelling. It used to be more storytelling. It is just... It's getting information out to the public that was just not available before. It's getting opinions out that weren't available before, without it being called misinformation, because I can't stand that term. Because I think the term today, when they say misinformation, that to me is opinion. When somebody says it's misinformation, to me a lot of times it's opinion. So the thing about podcasts is you can't hold me back. I can say whatever I want to say. And then you can choose as a consumer whether or not you want to get the information from me or not. Because you can turn me off.
Or go to the next one.
Go to the next one because there's so many of them.
Yes.
So going back to that, what are you seeing as the trend in podcasting? Is there any new trends or anything that you're seeing? Obviously, video casting, you have to be seeing that. Hi, this is Brad Weisman. Come back here every Thursday at 7 p.m. to watch The Brad Weisman Show. We have new guests every single week, and we love having you as an audience. All right, we'll see you soon.
Yeah, and, that's, even if you are not doing video yet, hopefully you're capturing your podcasts in a video way so that you can go back and reuse that, right? Like we encourage our clients, like record it on a platform like Riverside or something like that, so it captures it. And then if you only want to choose an audio service, no problem. We'll rip out the audio, but at least you have it for later, right? All the content pieces, and so really I feel like podcasts are really the most powerful content creation space you can have.
I agree.
'Cause you can take one podcast episode, you can get about 35 to 40 pieces of content out of one episode.
Yeah.
And you can't get that out of one blog. You can't get that out of one image that you post on Instagram or one tiny reel, right? But you can get all of those things from one podcast.
Yeah.
And so I see it from that standpoint, but from the storytelling standpoint, it gives people a different kind of voice. And what I really enjoy about it is because I think the first 50% drop off is after 8 episodes. And then there's another 60 or 70% drop off after episode 21. So the fact that you're hitting almost the 300 mark, I hit just over 120 episodes. Awesome. We are the anomaly.
And I've heard that before, Jeremy. I've heard that basically when somebody, and we've kind of seen it, Hugo and I have seen this, where people are like, yeah, we're going to do it. We're going to do our own podcast. And then next thing you know, they'll do 8 episodes and they don't I guess sometimes they underestimate what it takes to be consistent. But consistency is the key. You have to, people have to know that they can count on new material, new content every week or every month, whatever your system is, because otherwise they'll tune you out. You come off of their favorites or off of their saved podcasts. I'm the same. Ed Milet. I listen to Ed Milet almost every week, and if I don't listen to every week, I'll go back and find the ones that I really want to listen to. And I gain a lot from him, and I gain a lot from a lot of other podcasts too. But it's one of those things. It's consistency. But you're at 120, it's a lot, right? I mean, you don't realize 120 is a lot.
I wanted to quit a lot of times, but at the same time, I'm like, it's always those moments that happen are when somebody reaches out to me and like, man, thank you so much for that podcast episode. It's exactly what I needed today. Like, it's like you were sitting in front of me talking to me. And I'm like, and for me, that's why I do it. Like, I do it to reach the one, wherever and however that is. And so then I keep doing it, but it is hard. You have to stay motivated and stay relevant.
What do you think for somebody like in business? Like, do you say, hey, you know what? Everybody should be doing a podcast, or are you one of those like, okay, interesting. Go ahead. So tell me about that.
Yeah, because everybody has something to talk about. Now, I'm not going to say everyone should do a podcast about what they do.
Oh, good one. Good one.
Right?
It could be about their hobbies or about something else or about what other people do.
Yeah. The first question I ask my clients is, why do you want to do a podcast?
Good
That's
question.
number one. And number two is, what are you passionate about? Because to get past episode 21, you got to be pretty passionate about what you're going to talk about.
Oh, yeah. That's so funny. That's interesting. And we changed the name of our podcast several times. It was, when we first started, it was Real Estate and You. And Hugo and I went through a lot of thought process, because that's all. Beyond the musician part, I'm a realtor, and I've been a realtor for 33 years. But it's what I do every single day, all day, is real estate. And doing this as a hobby or a release to get the entertainment in my blood or keep it in my blood, it got to be too much. It was real estate all day, then real estate in the podcast. And not that I don't love real estate, but we changed it then. We changed it to, what was it, real estate, real people, and I can't remember what it is. Real estate, real life, and everything in between. Yes. We just recently took out the real estate part, and now it's just real people, real life, and everything in between. And that way, I don't want to be confined. Yeah, Hugo and I talked about this many times. I'm a person that's curious about all topics. I'm a very curious person. In fact, there's a lot that's in my book is building relationships and curiosity and authenticity and networking and all those things. And it's interesting how that now is what I can do. It's like this whole weight has been lifted off. So what you're saying is about the topic. I mean, how do you decide what is the passion? You just got to really dig in.
Yeah, you have to find. You did it like. What I would maybe consider a traditional way. You start with what you know.
Yep.
And then what you figured out was, well, yeah, I know about that, but I don't really want to talk about it anymore. Right? Because I talk about it, 70 to 100 hours a week with other folks.
Yes.
I want this for me, right? Okay, well, if I want it for me and I want to separate it from that, I need to find another space to live in, right? Now, the beauty is real life and real people and curiosity feeds and floods all the way back in to all the real estate stuff.
It does, yep.
Right? And it's a great parallel. And the beauty of saying I have 280 or 290 episodes of a podcast is you're consistent, you're persistent, you can build a know, like, and trust factor like no one else, right? And what does an ideal client ever want? Those things. Yeah. So you're doing that, you're building your business, you have that ability, but you're doing it in a way that you can just show up. Yeah. Right. For my podcast, I really make it about real life, real things. It started out as a, Rhythm of the Road was about me being a musician and being on the road and talking about, like, I made like 10 episodes and I'm like, yeah, that's enough of that.
Well, it's hard to keep being unique. It's hard to keep being interesting sometimes when you're held back in a certain topic. So that's interesting. So you have the evolution too. There's an evolution that goes on.
Yeah, and I think it should. I have one client, she has a global recruiting, company. Yeah. And her podcast is about recruiting called Talent Titans, but it's so niche right? And it limits the amount of guests and it limits the topics. And I keep pushing her. I'm like, hey, bring more of you.
Yeah.
Show you what is it that made you such a recruiting monster globally?
Yeah. Yeah. Because those are the things people want to hear too. Yeah. Because
it's that authenticity.
Yeah. Those are things that people want to hear because that is paralleled in every business. It's not like that's unique to your business. You can use those same things, those same patterns and things that she's doing to succeed in selling cars or selling real estate or whatever it is. Because typically the path to success is not unique to that industry. It's just a path. It's the way it is. Oh, that's really cool. That's very cool. So what do you suggest then? If somebody wants to start a podcast, what do you suggest? How do they do it? What do they just look? Do they come up with a name first, or do they come up with the passion that they have first, or do they? How do you suggest that?
We have some really great tools now, like AI tools.
AI, yes.
That if you've spent a lot of time in your AI ecosystems, like I have,
yes.
I can literally go in there and say, what about me. What would be 10 topics that I could talk about 100 times a year, right?
Great, yeah.
And then just ask it to give you the information. You're going to go through there and go, oh yeah, that's totally me, or no, that's not me, or I could get this far, and you can rank them, right? And what I like about that tool, because that's what it is, it's a tool, is it takes a lot of that over processing that we like to do as humans, and it takes the emotion out of it.
Yeah.
Which means we can get excited about something somebody else told us about us rather than us immediately going, well, I was only this kind of musician, so I can really only talk about this kind of thing. Yeah. Right. Like I'm self.
Yeah, no, it's almost like third person. It's a third person feedback, whereas you'll listen to that before you'll listen to yourself.
Yeah. And I'm like, okay, well, and then, my daughter came to me the other day. She's like, Dad, I'm finally going to start a podcast. She's finally started 3 times, but she's finally going to do it this time.
Oh, that's funny. Finally started 3 times. That's even less than the 8 episodes.
That's funny.
Because you have to start.
You have to start to get to the 8 episodes to quit. Yeah, that's hilarious.
And I was like, okay, cool. Go into ChatGPT and say, hey, find me 10 topics that I can talk about right now.
Wow, that's cool. How old is she?
She's 22.
Good for her. That's awesome. What's cool about that? We have a 22-year-old that was just in here not too long ago, and Andalina Storm is her name. Look her up. She's incredible. She's an amazing young woman, and she's in here, and she has a podcast. It's called Peace in the Storm, I think is what it's called, right? Mm-hmm. Her book is Sanity in the Storm. I'm pointing at it because her book's in here. But just great person, 22 years old. And 22, 23, she's unbelievable. You should have your daughter look her up just to show that there's a lot of people her age that are out there doing this. And Andalina had told us she didn't even know what she was going to do or say, but she's just taking off. It's incredible. Her followers, she's got so many followers. You should tell her to look her up. Seriously, she's a very fun, very smart, passionate young lady.
And I think that's the piece that you just have to go with. And I'm like, and part of it's just like you just have to do it. Right?
Absolutely.
Like when we were 20 and 22, we were like, just go do the work.
Yep.
Go work.
Yep.
Go get the experience.
Get the gig.
Go do the thing. Do it 100,000 times. Right. Do the thing and get the power. Right. Zig Ziglar. Right.
Yep. You got that
Have
right.
the power and then go do the thing.
Yep.
Right. Do the thing and you'll get the power.
Absolutely.
Right? And we can do it different and faster now. We have tools to eliminate some things and learn some things, but you still have to go do the work.
It's so true.
Right. And I think what's awesome about the other side of podcasting is you can just show up and not know what you're going to say. And so people will identify with that. Right. Because there's times I get on mine, I'm like, you know what? Before I got on here and I hit record, I didn't know what I was going to talk about.
Yeah.
And then that just fun. That takes me into a space, but then you took someone on a journey and they can relate to that because they probably showed up to their job this morning. They showed up to a meeting and they didn't know what to say either. They're like, oh yeah, that happened to me today.
Yeah, it's cool. No, and you're right. And that's why I always tell people before we get on the show, and I told you, is that, we basically have bullets that I write on here, and you can tell I haven't looked at it too much because we started a conversation, and it's just like, it's like sitting at a bar somewhere or at a coffee shop. When you meet somebody in an authentic space where it's like, all right, we're two people that are discovering each other. And as we discover each other, we ask questions because we're curious. And then the curiosity and the discovery part actually makes you trust each other because we're vulnerable. We're answering questions that we had no idea the other person was going to say or ask. So it really is, that's where humans are supposed to be. So let's go into some of the other stuff that you had on here. It says here, surrounding yourself with all the right people is of the utmost importance. You had a guest on that, I can't remember his name, and he talked about the peeps in your Jeep. And now you can name drop him and I'm sure he'll love it. And but just talk, that was a cool conversation. And I know it was his topic, but it was on your show. Maybe get into that a little bit because I thought that was something that was very valuable for the audience.
Absolutely. Steve Fredland is his name. And he just wrote this book called The Unright Thing. And it was amazing. But he went on all these African safaris. Right. And what do you learn when you're on African safari? Who are the people you want in the front driving the Jeep? Yes. And who do you want surrounded around you, protecting you? And who do you want?
Who has the rifle?
Who
has the rifle? And is it loaded?
And how good of a shot are they?
Exactly.
Right?
Yes.
So if they haven't, it might not mean nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
But it really was a testament to like having the right people around you. Right. And this is the other part that I really love is that he said is that should change.
That's even
as you change and grow. So should that group of folks.
Wow. That's really cool.
Yeah.
And it's the peeps in the Jeep. And if you get a chance, check that guy out. Does he have a podcast then too? Or
he does not have a podcast. I keep trying to get him to start one.
Yeah, you got to start working on that. This is what you do.
I'm working on him, man. 2.5 years I've been working on him.
Oh my gosh. He's playing hard to get. Yeah, it's amazing.
But he's doing a lot of like keynote speaking and stuff like that over the Midwest and really just kind of around that peeps in the Jeep.
Yeah, it's cool
topic.
So tell me you said you have something new coming out with Big Box Media. The Box 7 Media. What did I put down? Big Box Media. Why did I come up with that? Box 7 Media. What is it that you said that you're going to be doing? Music licensing, Well,
no, it's actually the anti-music licensing.
So we're against it.
Yeah, well, I mean,
just kidding.
Here's the thing. It's really funny that you say that because I'm like, well, I'm an artist and a musician and a songwriter and a producer, and I have all these credits on all these songs. And what I built this site for is for content creators to have true royalty-free music.
Interesting.
And by what I mean by that is it's you pay for a track, you download it, it's yours to use many times as you want. It's not going to get flagged on YouTube. It's not going to get flagged on social media.
So it's a one-time fee. Or no?
One-time fee.
That's actually great. I know, Hugo, you buy music.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, he buys music because he does a lot of video producing and stuff like that. So normally what do you pay? You normally pay more like a per use fee or?
Yeah. They have all sorts of restrictions as to what type of project it is and the size of the audience and whatnot. Yeah. That's a great
That's actually a great idea. So is that something that's available?
Yes, it went live the beginning of January of 26, called thememusicforpodcasts.com.
Theme music.
And really,
cool.
I'm building out a library on there, right? As a musician, why wouldn't I create music for others?
I love that.
I work in the video production world with my clients, and I have lots of folks who are doing that video world, and you go on YouTube and 3 strikes, you're out. Yeah. If you get 3 red X's on there, they literally shut you down and you're not getting a new YouTube channel. And what if you had 100,000 subscribers and all these things? And, there are lots of royalty-free sites out there. You pay based on subscription and kind of like Hugo shared kind of what is it based on. I think the only requirement I have is it's not for commercial use, but that is standard in the royalty-free, right? If you wanted to use it to put on a Super Bowl commercial, we're negotiating a different price than the
it's a little different.
$49 that's on my website.
That's a little different, yeah.
But what I'm really doing is I'm giving that away. I'm giving away the ability to have 1/100th of a penny for each stream that it might have.
Yeah. That's amazing. That's a great idea, and I think it's something that's gonna. The only thing too is that I've heard some of this music that is like if you get it for like free through like Opus, Opus Plus, which does the clips and stuff. The music is very cheesy, so that's it. You know, sometimes it comes with the program, but you're sitting there going, okay, is this 1970s or what? You know, what is this music? It's like a little different. It's stuff that you don't really want to be associated with at that point. But well, that's cool. And what's the name of that again? The website?
thememusicforpodcasts.com.
Awesome.
And really what I want people to do is have it so they can build their own sonic identity.
That's great. That's awesome. Very cool. We'll have to look into that some more. I want to end this up here where there was 2 quotes I found that I'm a big quote guy. Hugo can tell you. I write quotes all the time. In fact, that's how I got the idea for the book. It was a quote that I wrote that just really, really resonated and thought, man, I could do a whole book on this. And that's what we're doing. But there's a couple that I have on here. And I just want to bring them up. The one I saw was change your questions, change your growth, which I really love that. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? Ask, what is this teaching me? So a lot of times you hear change the way you look at things and the things you look at will change. That's one of the other ones you hear out there. But changing the questions is going to change your growth. I love that. Yeah, because if you always ask the same questions, like you said, why is this happening to me? Which a lot of people will ask that. And you said, what is this teaching me? Rephrase it.
Yeah. And, I love that reframe because, I don't call it wins and losses. I call it wins and learning opportunities.
Absolutely.
That's and really that's kind of the mindset of that space. Yep. But if you can ask those questions differently, it really it flips it. And I'm not going to say that I'm not going to start with why did this happen to me? I'm still human.
Of course.
Right. And human psychology is going to push us there first.
Sure.
But because we know that, we can also ask a different question and we have an opportunity to.
It's being aware is what I always say about these things. It's being aware. We're never going to be perfect, ever. We're not.
No. Perfect doesn't exist.
Doesn't exist. But it's aware of the other tools or the other ways of looking at things, because that's what can make the decision or can make the difference between decisions you make,
yes,
opportunities that you actually finally see that you weren't seeing before. Because I believe that opportunities are everywhere. It's a matter of just recognizing it. And that's a lot of that. It's asking the right question. It's asking the question and changes your growth. I just love that. It's a great quote. And it really hit me when I read it. So kudos to that one.
Thank you.
And the other one I really liked was, in the world of ideas, collaboration isn't just helpful, it's essential.
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
We're human beings and we were meant to be in community. Right. And in the business world, instead of using the word community, we use the word collaboration.
Yeah.
I really learned this in the music industry because most musicians are not collaborative. No. But I can tell you the most successful ones are.
So true.
And it's the thing they won't tell you. Right. I've been in central Minnesota all my life, and the last 25 years, really grown a great network of folks. But the amount of collaborators that have happened in Minnesota is not super high. Yeah. They've all been from outside of, right? And for whatever reason, there are pockets of places geographically that it's not as good or it's not as well. But at the same time, I just go seek out those who are.
Yeah, that's cool. And I agree with you on the music end of it. You look like some of the great musicians, great writers. I always think of like Michael McDonald, Kenny Loggins, those kind of people collaborated with everybody. And the reason they're great is because of their collaboration. I mean, that's what that's what makes them so good, because they realize that it's not going to just be one idea that's going to make it great. It's going to be ideas from all the great musicians coming together and creating something that's better than just one of them could ever create.
Right. It's an opportunity for synergy.
Yeah. And what's funny about that too? What I always think about in the world of ideas, collaboration isn't just helpful, it's essential. I think about entrepreneurs that need to know that. And I'll tell you why. Entrepreneurs, when I saw this quote, is we are idea people typically. Okay. We're idea people. And I got to say, and I'm not saying this I can tell you what I'm good at. One of the things I'm good at is ideas. I'm really good at ideas. I'm really good at thinking outside the box. The one thing after that I'm not good at is follow through.
Right,
I'm just not. I'm not. That's why the fact that I'm almost 300 episodes on this podcast is incredible. It's probably the one thing besides real estate that I really followed through with, and my marriage and my kids, of course. But a lot of times I come up with a lot of ideas that I just never follow through with. And Hugo is here as like almost a coach. He's like a coach for me, or a partner in this journey, because there's times where he's like, well, why aren't you writing that book? I mean, you did say that to me a couple times ago. You're like, well, why aren't you writing the book? You said you were going to write it a couple times now. Why haven't you written it? And he says it in a nice way. He's not like being a jerk,
sure.
but it's funny how it's accountability. And I think leaders need that collaboration in order to follow those ideas through to where they need to be.
Yeah, because we'll be responsible to a person. We'll be accountable to another person.
Oh, of course. Absolutely.
Before we'll be accountable to ourselves.
Absolutely.
So if I have a collaborator, I have an opportunity.
You got that right. So cool. So, hey, I want to thank you for coming on the show today. This was just fun. This went by so fast. It was a great conversation. We didn't cover anything that I really wanted to cover. Of course, it's on here. Not that I wanted to cover. It was stuff that was on here, but I think we covered a lot, and it was good content. And I really, really enjoyed myself. So hopefully you did too. Tell us how we get in touch with you, as far as if anybody's interested in starting a podcast or wants to do an audiobook or anything that you do. How do they get in touch with you?
Absolutely. Box7media.com. That's the simplest, fastest way to get a hold of me.
Awesome.
And you can find out more information about all those things, starting a podcast or narrating your own audiobook. And Brad, thank you for having me on today. Thank you, Hugo, for making the experience easy and smooth.
That's awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, Jeremy Schreifels. I told you that was going to be good.
Yeah,
you didn't believe me, did you? You didn't? Yeah.
I did.
No, that was really good. So you can get in touch with him. Go to Box7 Media. Look him up. He's got a great Instagram page. He's got lots of quotes on there that I really, really enjoy. But you're gonna want to check him out. He's awesome. And if you're thinking about doing a podcast, he's the guy to talk to. All right, that's about it. Thanks for coming here every Thursday at 7 p.m. We'll see you next week. Hey guys, if you're looking to buy or sell a house in Berks County or beyond, let me know. This is Brad Weisman from The Brad Weisman Show. You probably know I'm also a realtor, but I wanted to remind you, if you have any questions or you need anything, please give me a call, 484-256-5836. Thanks.